everybody, welcome back. Before we get started here, I just want to let you all know that I will be doing most of the talking on this video for a certain reason. You want to tell them?
Because I sound like this. And I agreed to do a video sounding like this if Sam would not put subtitles on the video when I talk. So.
Right. Yeah, so Hannah kind of lost her voice, but that is okay. We still got something for you guys. So anytime something out of the ordinary happens, we try and pull a lesson from it. And so with her losing her voice, we kind of stepped back for a second. We said, what can we learn from this experience? What grew us closer together through this experience? And what grew us closer to God in this experience, right? And so we turned to the Bible. Well, where does this apply in the Bible, right? So what can it relate to in the Bible? And the story of Job popped out. And if you don't know the story of Job, I'll go through it super quickly here. Faithful servant of God. All of these terrible, terrible things happen to him, but he stays faithful. He stays honorable to God. He's always talking good about God, and at the end of the story, there is hope at the end of the story. Job does get tenfold back. So everything that he had, he got 10 times the amount of it back, right? Of everything he lost. And so the story's kind of talking about having that faith, through any circumstance that you face, and having that love and that honor for God, right? So all these things, he loses his kids, he loses everything he worked for, he loses his health, all of these things, right? Friends, all this stuff, right? So it's kind of this huge thing that happened to Job, but he still chose to honor. But it's just the principle in it. Just that the honor of God was a priority to him. And so we took with Hannah, and something that I love about my wife and admire about my wife, and it's pretty challenging to myself personally, is that no matter what she faces and she's going through, the honor of God she's made the honor of God a priority in her life. And so even when she lost her voice, she chose, I'm going to go to church, I'm going to push through, and I'm going to worship with all my heart.
It's nothing compared to Job.
Right. It's not on the same caliber as Job, but it's the principle, that matters, right? This is a principle that a lot of us have heard before. So what Hannah and I decided to do is, how can we even take this a step further for us so you guys can get something fresh out of this, just like we like to do with every Bible story, So here in Job 42:5 it says, and this is Job speaking to God, he said, I had only heard about you before, but now I have seen you with my own eyes. So the powerful thing about this is the story that's about faith is about a man who had only heard stories about God, who'd only heard about God. So, and he had this incredibly strong faith, that lasted through the worst of the worst, right? So how much more today, now that we have the Spirit of God, now that we can have a relationship directly with God, when we go through these little things, how much more should we make honor a priority in our lives, So the joke we were kind of making about this is that, everyone kind of has a different type of mom, that where they have a solution for everything. What's that solution that your mom had? So for me growing up, my mom was an Advil mom. So anytime you had any sort of issue, you just pop some Advil and you move on with your day. So, and
there's the take a shower, Mom. Go take a shower and you'll be fine. And we have a friend who's a coconut oil mom. So go put some coconut oil on it and you'll be fine.
Right. Yeah. So there's these, different levels or different, solutions that moms have, right? So for my mom, I would go in and I'd be like, man, Mom, I'm not feeling good. When I was your Mom, I'm not feeling good. And I don't know if I feel up for church. And she'd say, are you throwing up? I was like, nope. She would say, do you have a fever? I'd be like, nope. Then just take some Advil and you'll be just fine. So everybody kind of has a mom who has a different thing. And so the principle we learned about this is that my mom had very clear priorities. The honor of God is a priority in our life. And going to church is a priority in our life. And she believed in that wholeheartedly. So what we took from this is that, and what we took from Job here, is that there's an unconditional honor for God. And that's when we really tap into something powerful. Because, yes, it's true that worship is a very powerful thing, but unconditional worship is an unstoppable thing. Because when you decide to worship, when you have a sore throat, or like Job, when you decide to honor God, when the worst of the worst happens, no matter what's going on, we choose to honor God, we're telling the enemy that there's nothing he can throw at us that can ever stop us from praising God. And so that's what we want to leave you guys with. So keep your honor on and never let it be turned off. So love y'all.